Yeah, sometimes. Once in a while. Never.
Way to go.
Dad? Mom? That girl has my face!
You know that the three of us, we have so much fun when we're together.
I know that's right.
Ooh, I love the color, Tamera.
Yeah, it fits me great as you're clingy, yet loose at the same time.
Okay. I'm going down, cause you ain't around. Wait, Tamera, that's terrible.
You're a fascinating man, Ray. Will $10 be one of those things you might find joy in? Well, I can live on a budget. I just do a lot better living over a budget. It's no problem. I'll pay it.
Oh. You will?
Yeah, sure. Can you lend me $750?
This is the best night of my life.
Go home, Roger.
Oh, how? No.
When I get married, I want a big wedding.
I want a small wedding.
And I want a double wedding.
We did it! You were great. We're in the clear.
You just take care of the egg, and I'll bring home the bacon.
You killed the baby! Why did we throw a party?
Roger, don't you ever knock before you enter someone's home?
Well, I don't like to hear go home, Roger, till I've earned it.
Ooh, and I got the cigarettes.
Huh?
Cigarettes.
So, how old are you? 12? Oh, that's so cute the way they did that.
Tonight, we're going straight to the truth behind Sister Sister. No rumors, no guesses, just receipts. The show launched big, hit a wall, and kept moving through contract fights, money questions, and one lawsuit that exposed how cash can quietly go missing. We'll break down the pay gap the twins push against, the magazine cover they were denied, and the legal roadblock that shut down a reboot after years of careful planning. We'll follow why Roger left, why Jackie almost walked, and how the switch between networks shaped the endgame. If you want a clean timeline, you're in the right place. Dates, deals, and decisions only. This is Sister Sister news you can trace. And the Sister Sister scandal that connects the money, the contracts, and the fallout. What moment tells you a project has to change course? A budget, a clause, or a line you refuse to cross? Let's find out. The timeline is clear. The comedy launched on ABC in 1994, ran 2 seasons, and was canceled in 1995. The rights moved, the set moved, and the work kept going at the WB through 1999 for a total of 119 episodes. No detours there, just contracts, scheduling, and delivery. That handoff is part of the record, and it matters because every change in ownership changes leverage. When the platform shifts, budgets shift, perks shift, and the tone of negotiation shifts. File that under straight up business, not gossip. It explains why later disputes look the way they look. Every meeting has a context, and the network switch is a context for the next round of Sister Sister news that sets the stage for everything that followed. Money comes next. Pay is a contract line, not a mystery, and pay sets the balance of respect on a set. The twins asked for parity and basic standards, and the answer they got was smaller trailers, smaller rooms, and slower raises. Each season, the ask kept coming, and each season the pushback kept coming. A pay gap is not a rumor, it is math. When the math says one group gets less, every other line on the call sheet feels the aftershock. That is a fuel for the meeting where someone says budget, and someone else points to the scoreboard of work delivered. You do not fix it with a compliment. You fix it with a clause. These are the facts that define the core Sister Sister scandal. The gap, the negotiations, and the choices people made to keep working while pushing for a fair deal. Access matters too. During the same run, a teen magazine made its decision about the cover and said no because the stars were black. That is not a debate. That is a sentence. It is a gate locked by something that has nothing to do with pages delivered or scenes shot. The fallout is also simple. Opportunities shift, introductions shrink, and a team has to build its own lane while the door stays closed. Add that to our ledger, Sister Sister, because it explains why later negotiations got sharper. When one path is blocked on principle, you go harder on the path you control. Contracts, billing, and terms. That is the only lever that moves anything when the front door will not open. Which play would you choose in that meeting? Walk away, move the pitch above the editor, or document everything for the next negotiation? Pressure did not stop at contracts. Image standards were a checklist of measurements, and keeping up was not free. Diet pills entered the routine. The side effects came with them. The choice delivered look on camera, and a cost off camera. And the cost was real, racing heart, constant vigilance. And the knowledge that the fix was not a fix. That is not vanity. That is survival inside a system that treats appearance as a condition of employment. It is a reminder that the body is part of the work order when the camera is part of the job. Sister Sister sits in that history too. Because every hour spent managing a side effect is an hour you do not get back. What would you build into a contract to protect health? scheduled breaks, nutrition support, or immediate stop work authority when a call sheet says one thing and your body says another. Cast turnover is also a contract story. Roger left near the end, not because the role failed, but because the role boxed him in while his life changed. Grief led the list. Music led the next list. That is a legitimate exit. The paperwork matched the choice, and the door closed. Then the finale gave him one last walk-on. The shift force story changes. Scene partners change, and the show functioned without the neighbor who used to ring the bell. The clean read is this. A person protected his future. That is not a scandal by itself. The scandal would have been trapped by a contract that ignored life outside the frame. Instead, the pages adjusted and the machine kept moving. What clause would you ask for to protect your right to step away from a role? Because keeping it would write your future for you. Another fork happened earlier, before cameras rolled. Jackie Harry almost said no to playing Lisa. The reason was straightforward. The role read like Mom, when the plan on her side was awards, heavy drama, and a different lane. Then came a meeting, a calculation, and a yes. That single decision locked in a tone, a foil, and a voice that could push and protect at the same time. It is still a contract story, a partisan offer, and an offer becomes a career chapter when you sign. In any reading of Sister Sister, that signature is one of the earliest choices that shape the chain of later choices. Change that signature, and the rhythm of the whole show changes. That means the stakes were never abstract. Say yes, and one path lands. Say no, the path that lands, and the later conflicts play out with different gravity. The biggest paper trail sits outside the writer's room. In 2001, after the run, the producers hired auditors to examine revenue. The audit stretched into years without a clear finish. Early hints said the numbers might be underreported by a slice worth chasing. Deliverables lagged. Vague updates stacked up. By 2009, the report finally arrived and did not meet the need. Key details missing, usefulness thin, and the firm citing staffing problems. The producers filed a $5 million lawsuit alleging negligence and seeking a clear accounting of what should have been counted in the first place. That is what makes this a straight-line Sister Sister scandal and Sister Sister news entry at the same time. A claim about money, a timeline of work promised, and a finish that did not answer a question they paid to answer. The clean lesson is simple. Late accounting clouds everything that would have shown that the work had been done right the first time. Track the cause and effect. If revenue hides under vague reporting, then raises are harder to justify. If raises slow, power shifts. If power shifts, perks shrink. If perks shrink, departures get more likely. That is how a small phrase in a memo can echo all the way to casting. And it is why the audit story is not separate from the set story. Treat that as Sister Sister News Line 2. Financial clarity drives creative stability. What clause would you insist on adding to a services agreement, interim reports, third-party oversight, or automatic fee holdbacks until delivery? Each one changes leverage. Each one cuts down on delay. Each one turns a backlog into a schedule you can enforce. Which one would you pick first if your payroll depended on it? Even a hit like Sister Sister pays a price in time, money, and options. The most direct fallout shows up in how the people involved made later choices. Health came first. Fair terms came first. Boundaries came first. A blocked path did not become a permanent loss. It became a new path. The show's end date did not erase the skill set that made the show work. Contracts change, but craft travels. That is why the story reads cleanly all the way through. Because each move responds to a condition you can point to on paper. Which move in your own life has the clearest paper trail? Changing teams for pay, stepping back for health, or waiting for rights to clear before you invest. One last pass through the checklist before we close the file. Cancellation after 2 seasons, documented. Pick up and run to 6 seasons total, documented. Pay disparity that demanded a fix, documented by the people who lived it and the terms they fought to change. Magazine cover refusal based on race, stated plainly. Exit of a core character for reasons that make sense when your role no longer matches your life, stated plainly. A lawsuit with number, a purpose, and a timeline, stated plainly. A reboot halted by rights issues, stated plainly. Each line belongs in Sister Sister News and makes the Sister Sister scandal legible. The headlines are noise, but the content is a chain of cause and effect across years. Before we wrap, let's make space for the questions that help any team protect its work. Which clause guards your audit timeline? Which paragraph locks fair raises to measurable results? Which review step protects cast health from impossible image demands? Which rule makes exit paths dignified, so a character can leave without a cloud? Which rights checklist stops a reboot from dying in the paperwork? Each answer belongs in the contract. Each answer turns a risk into a plan. What would you write first? The audit rule, the health rule, or the rights rule? Your answers are the best defense against the next Sister Sister you'll ever face.